You remember last time from the last stream 2 days ago where I was mentioning often here with around 40 big blinds, we want to 4-bet shove these suited aces quite frequently. So, but then we also defend quite wide. Maybe it's on the right side here. Welcome everyone. Starting with a study session. We're gonna fire some pre-flop spots. Button facing raise first inverse button. Still lots of 3-betting going on. So this has to be 30 big blinds. Like for 20 big blinds, we're not gonna be not 3-betting that much here. It's interesting that still for 30 big blinds, it's 3-betting a bunch of suited connectors still. So red is always not on a 3-bet. Orange is jam and green is call. Hijack facing raise first in versus UTG1, 15 big blinds. Yeah, this looks like, I don't think we're going to be doing much flatting here, hijack, so I guess this is the range. We're going on with majority of our range. Select the highest frequency action, 50 big blinds. Yeah, I think call. I can see Marison jamming. Probably get him to 4 jack 10 suited, 10-9 suited, which is pretty good. But still, I think in position calling is good. Oh, blind versus blind. Big blind versus small blind. What are we doing with jack 5 off? I know these offsuited jack X, 10X want to be raising quite a lot. So do we call, which is essentially check, right? I go with a raise. Nope. 10-9 off. Yeah, we just call. Ace-8 suited. 3-bet or call. I mean, never jamming. I go with 3-bet. Yeah. Button facing 3-bet versus small blind. We're jamming a lot here for 30 bigs. I don't think it's 40 bigs. Yeah, 30 big blinds. Select the highest frequency action, of course, raise first in. Select all of the correct answers below. So essentially, yeah, I think we can jam this combo. We can also 3 when we can call. So I go with all 3. Oh, yeah, so we jam or call. Interesting. It's not supposed to be 3-betting here. Ace-5 suited, even with it reverse under the gun, is always an excellent hand to just re-jam. Of course, this is all chip EV for tournaments, right? Queen Jack suited. We all know this spot, right? We open from under the gun, big blind 3-bets. I personally, I would fold. I just think these spots are heavily underbluffed. But I think GTO wants to call here. Could be actually also raise first in. But I think it wants to raise with hands like 9-3 suited, where you get into fold 9-4, 9-5 off these combos. Won't be suited, so I think Jack deuce off just wants to limp most of the time. Again, we're selecting the highest frequency plays. This is also something that we have changed. I don't think it's necessarily important to know all the frequencies, so just knowing roughly what's the main strategy here is very much sufficient. UTG facing a 3-bet from button with 40 big blinds. What is our range? I think here on the left side, jamming. You remember last time from the last stream 2 days ago where I was mentioning often here with around 40 big blinds, we want to 4-bet shove these suited aces quite frequently. So, but then we also defend quite wide. Maybe it's on the right side here. No, it was left. Damn it. Yeah, it actually said 40 big blinds. Yeah, just call in position 8s versus small blind 3-bet. Ace 4 suited. What did we just learn, chat? 40 bigs, facing a 3-bet from late position, low suited ace, jam. Ace 9 off, I think we just jam here against cutoff. Jam and call. I would never 3-bet. So then it mixes 50-50, right? Gary! Gary, man nennt ihn auch der weiße Brasilianer in PUBG. 9-8 suited. Yeah, I think we also have to call here. 10-9 suited, facing a 3-bet from big blind. Just calling. No fancy shit with 4-betting or jamming. So that's also very interesting here, blind versus blind. I think most players would jam. But think about it, like if we jam, we're going to get it all in against this all-in range anyway, right? So it doesn't make a difference. If he has a trap, well, we go broke. So if you raise and he jams, we also gonna go broke. But the benefit of raising is also that he continues with his garbage, right? We might induce something. So here you definitely just want to raise. And then, you know, if he has queen 8 off, queen 7 off, or a weaker king, even something like 9-8 off, or 10-9, or jack 3 suited, all these hands going to be calling against a small raise. I'm just going to limp the jack 6 suited. Aces, I think very often with less than 40, 30 big blinds, we want to slow play quite often. Oh, actually want to jam. That's interesting. I make it very player dependent anyway, depending on who am I playing against. If the tighter the opponent is, the more I'm inclined to just jam. Aisha, thanks for the sub. Ja, ich verstehe kein Wort von dem, was du redest. Ja, ist halt wie im PUBG, ne? Ist halt wie im PUBG. Erzähl mir was Neues. What about Jack 10 suited in that King Queen spot? Could be a check back actually. Could just be a check back. Ace Queen suited here, we just call it. 60 bigs in position against this 3-bet. Pretty good score. Pretty good score. We continue with more spots. I'm just gonna get some water. I love doing this as a warm-up. Very often in the session then I'll be able to remind a couple of these spots because you can fire so many spots in such a short time. I really use it mainly for warming up. That's pretty good. And then if you want to do some deeper studying, you can, of course, you can just pull up on the left side here. It doesn't show the full screen. I zoomed in. So you have here a window attached. You can move it wherever you want. And then you can just show the entire tree. If you, for example, want to look up a spot, right? We just, I don't know, button, let's say button, we are facing a 3-bet versus small blind. Let's move it a bit here. So we're facing a 3-bet for, let's say, 40 big blinds, and then we see the entire range. And you can quickly maneuver between different spots, or you just want to see, hey, you know, I'm under the gun, I'm facing a 3-bet from cutoff. What's my defending range? And then you can adjust the stack size here for, let's say, 30 big blinds. And then you see all the hands you're supposed to call, or with 40 big blinds or 60 big blinds. I mean, we could also do a post-flop quiz. But the problem is, this would feel a little weird because I'm creating all these quizzes. So I'm like, what are we supposed to do on a multi-way spot? So let's just do pre-flop. UTG facing a 3-bet versus hijack. Is it 60 big blinds, 30 big blinds, or 40 big blinds? We do very little jamming, less than 1% from our entire range. 9%, or from the over range, 9% we are calling. And we actually do a bunch of 4-betting. So it has to be 60 big blinds. That's interesting. I think these are the spots where I struggle the most, finding bluff 3-bets, small blind versus big blind. This is actually something I'm going to be looking up after this spot. Let's see, big blind, 3-bet versus small blind. I put a fold, always a call, but it's a problem. Like every hand feels very natural as a call. It could be also 3-bet actually. I'm gonna go with a call. Yeah, call or 3-bet. Ah, seems to do a heavy mixing. So offsuited king X, good to keep in mind. Sound is too low. Is this sound too low, guys? 3-bet, of course. You definitely don't want to be trapping from those positions. You just have way too many players left. If you want to trap, then from later position. Because then they're going to be overcalling way more. I would 3-bet ace first. No, actually call. Should be 3-betting probably more like a6, a7, ace8 suited. The reason why you want to choose higher suited aces is because he's going to be calling every pair, right? So an ace7 suited has much more equity than ace4 suited in 3-bet pots. Okay, I just need to sort out something with real quick. Oh, actually, it wants a 3-bet. You can also, if you want to have a closer look, you can review the range here, and as you see, ace4 suited is. So let's go to the next question. Let's turn that off. BB raising first in, facing raise first in versus button. That's already do a decent amount of jamming. This has to be 15 big blinds because there's no in 3-betting. But it's interesting to see that you're actually still just calling a bunch of ace-x, also suited broadways, because you dominate his queen-8 suited, right? So it's going to be raise forward. So you dominate more of his range post-flop. It's still profitable reshove though, but the EV of calling is higher than reshoving. So that's why. Small blind facing raise first in versus UTG. I guess it's 20 big blinds. Also with 20 big blinds, you see from the small blind, we still do a bunch of calling with the suited connectors. Raise first in with the 9-8 suited. But we're not going to open jack 8 off here. Of course not. Is it now a little louder? All right, these spots are always fucked up. I think I would just jam 7s here. 30 bigs, button versus more. But I might be a little bit too loose. I'll jam or call. So it's probably do a bunch of mixing. Let's see the range. Yeah, 7s actually is doing. You know what we can implement? Maybe I can talk to Jeremy. What would be great if you could also see the small blind strategy, because the reason why it wants to call 7s more often is probably dominates more of Willen's bluffing range. So maybe. And it's always a great way to learn to see, okay, that's our response, but let's see what small blind is doing. And then we start understanding why 10s is a call, why 9s is a jam, and jacks is a jam, right? But I guess it has something to do with that 9 just needs more protection, and then there's going to be you know, a lot of like 10x plus in his range. So we want to keep dominating his plus. Again, jamming is probably still very profitable, but might gain a little more EV. And you can start understanding those differences a little better and be able to connect the dots better, why we do certain things or appear to be so fucked up in GTO Wonder World, right? So in case Tim Thompson is watching and not having a warm shower, like he's doing 3 times a day, or warm bath, then, but I will also let him know. Five three suited, could be a limp actually. I'm just gonna go for the fold. Let's see what are we limping. Yeah, you see limp 5-4 suited. I think 2 days ago when I limped 6-4 suited for 30 bigs from the cutoff. I think that was also a little too loose. But there you see also 10-8 off is a limp. So if you start limping with 15 to 20 big blinds from the button, you can play incredible wide. Button. Yeah. It's either the left or the right. It's left, right? No, it's the right, because we're not doing so much jamming, yeah. 15 big blinds we do much more. King 9 suited. I would fold here from the cutoff against that position. Oh, I'm in it. Yeah, but it's the moment it starts partially calling, partially folding, it's very marginal. So it's totally okay to pass on the spot. So we're cut off versus UTG, 20 big blinds. I mean, UTG2, which is essentially MP, right? We had this similar spot earlier already. Against this sizing, probably just folding. Min-raise call. Wait, can we go back? Yeah, actually, because I would like, we can review. Yeah, I would more often fold King 10, Queen 10 suited here and be rather tight. There's not a lot of money to gain there under the gun versus middle position. You might also note from the Jaime Masterclass ranges that from under the gun, I'm also having a rather tight, a little more tight approach. BB facing raise first in versus hijack. Yeah, no, for 60 big blinds, we're not going to be jamming, but you see, no, that's gonna mess it up if I zoom in too much. Very suited heavy, Jack 10, 10-9 suited, very high, basically 100% frequency 3-bets. I would 3-bet here 7-6 suited, 60 big blinds, button versus big blind and call. So it's probably doing a mix. And as we see here, very condensed around the suited connectors, 3-betting from the big blind, suited King X. I would 3-bet 9s here with so many players left to act. I think our hand just needs way too much protection. All right, no. Okay, come on. It's like 40-60, right? 40% of the time we 3-bet. So, potato. A7 suited. I think that's pretty decent 3-bet hand. Okay, that's just Ace-8 suited, Ace-9 suited. Okay, I'm too loose. 10-9 suited. Call. Yeah. I think you want to have a high card like king 9, king 8 suited. You really want to block his 4-bit jamming range. Let's see. Yeah, you see king 8 suited, king 7 suited, some low suited, some suited ace blocking ace, queen 9, queen 8 suited. And then, because if you have a 10 and a 9, you block a lot of his folding range, right? That is folding. So you only want to have one of these low cards in 8, 7, or 9, and then at least one high card if you 3-bet bluff here. Jack 9 suited is an open from low jack. 9-3 suited. I think 9-3 suited, we just limp. Or we raise forward. So it does both. Yeah, 9-3 suited, raise. And I mentioned earlier, some of these lower suited 9x, 8x hands are good to raise. What's the underlying principle here? Essentially, it works really well folding out 9-4 off, 9-5 off, 8-4 off, 8-5 off. So you fold out some dominated hands and so you have fold equity plus, yeah, you can still hit something, c-bet on the flop. But you shouldn't be overdoing it. You can get easily punished for it. Sixes here, I think we can still call. It's very borderline. I think it's call or fold. Oh, still calling sixes here, okay. Almost 50-50. Definitely a little bit more off here in that, yeah, call ace queen off, 20 big blinds, MP versus cutoff. King jack suited, we raise first in. I wouldn't be limping here. And 5-3 suited, we just call, we don't jam or make anything fancy. It's also pretty bad because better rejam jack 3 suited because you block ace 5, ace 3, king 5 suited, all that sort of stuff. If you get called, you always have 2 undercards. If you have jack 5 suited, you know you have at least an overcard to his 10s, 9s, 8s. You block jacks, you block ace jack. So, but I wouldn't jam jack 5 suited, but just, you know, it's not good to go bananas with those hands. Ace 6 suited, I would jam. Okay, no, it doesn't want to jam. Oh, we had a few more blunders here. It's especially good for beginners if you want to have a first. And also we have a free version, so you can slowly get into understanding preflop ranges, getting a better glimpse of what you're supposed to do in certain spots. And then, of course, we also have a paid version where you get access to more ranges, more diverse ranges, more quizzes, post-flop quizzes, also video content that contains quizzes. Yeah, I need to learn more. But with pre-flop, man, it's just so a billion different spots. But it's good to see. I wanted to look up something, right? Blind versus blind. Big blind, right? Big blind, facing raise first in from small blind. So here's the window that I can navigate with. So if I want to check, okay, what do I want to do? Big blind versus small blind. We go big blind. We face a raise first in from small blind. And then the range pops up and we can see, all right, you see our range is very crappy, like offsuited king X, offsuited queen X. We are bluff 3-betting here, 40 big blinds. Then it shifts more towards even high cards, 30 big blinds. And then also the frequency gets less and less because you're supposed to 3-bet forward less. Otherwise your opponent can just, he makes more profit with 4-bet jamming on you since he has to risk less in order to win those 8-9 big blinds that are in the middle, right? He only has to risk 30 big blinds. So that's why with 60 big blinds, you can 3-bet bluff way more. And 20 big blinds, we just play a jam or call. All right, I'm gonna turn off the stream for a few minutes to turn on the delay. And then we jump right in the action.